pretty much trouble-free.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
You know, in facilities, you never know what they will bring.
I did have one last one, I'm sorry. You mentioned you have spoken with somebody in permitting that you've been working with. Who would that be?
I have to go check and see who was spoken to. I personally did not conduct that conversation, but we showed the preliminary drawings for these projects, among others, for other customers of ours that are in Montgomery County, which are brownouts.
Yeah.
And we talked about
Which office was that?
I'd like that.
This
Office
was
of
out
Permitting.
in Rockville.
Yeah,
off 351.
Department of Permitting Services?
Department of Permitting Services in Rockville, off 355.
I think one thing that we can clarify too, I think is been emphasized before, there's kind of like two phases to potential public comment on this. This first phase that we're in is gathering a lot of people's concerns and what they want to know more about. And the decision that the board would make and the superintendent would consider would be whether or not to move forward with further evaluation of the projects. And the second phase, which people have been interested in, the permitting phase, looking at setbacks, looking at limits of disturbance, that entire process also goes through a public comment period often, and there's, at that point, further work has been done on the site so that more detailed plans are available as to the level of disturbance, where specifically things are going to go. So if you're not providing specific information at this point, it's because we did not want to pretend that we knew everything about the site or presume that this was moving forward in a way that would preclude the fact that the public is open at this point to discuss the general merits of the project.
With all due respect, we've been to this rodeo before, and the Board of Ed comment period can be 24 hours. So this is nothing to do with you all, but I'm letting you understand where we're coming from. They can put something on their website Sunday night and vote on it Tuesday morning, and that's it. So this is not new to us.
I think a lot of what you're hearing is people want more information, and you've committed to that. People want more time to understand when you present it. I hope you commit to that. People want a more robust public comment period after having a chance to look at the information so they can provide informed comments and questions. And people want to know that what they say actually somehow matters to somebody who will be making a decision on whether or not to take the next step. Not that people drop their comments and their thoughts and their questions and their concerns into a black hole, and then the process is well, and we'll go ahead and proceed, and then they get this other short comment period. Again, I love solar. And I grew up in Montgomery County, and I want to see solar-based education. I actually want to see farm-based education too. But, and I think there's all kinds of aspects to sustainability. I've spent a lot of time making very little money advocating for solar and renewable energy and fighting dirty energy in Annapolis. So I believe in solar, but I also think you're hearing some people want more information and have more meaningful role in helping to shape the school system's thoughts around not just this, but also how to get the greater benefits out of renewable energy and energy efficiency and the educational benefits that come from that. But there are other aspects of sustainability and sustainability education.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, nitty-picky, bean-picking kind of questions. School service total. How many schools are either re-roofed with a new 20-year roof or renovated with a new roof each year within the school system?
We probably have 5 to 6 roof projects a summer there. That should be understood that we may not be doing an entire roof. A lot of times our high schools take 2 or 3 summers to get everything completed, as well as some schools have additions that the roof cycles out of sync with the original roof. Just anticipating the reason you're asking the question, we also, in terms of the roofs that can have photovoltaics, there's also competing environmental interest for our roof space with the vegetative roofs and stormwater management. And that is particularly acute in the down county area and densely developed areas where our schools are older, they didn't have much site to begin with, and so vegetative roofs are required, could be required under the maximum extent practicable rule for stormwater management, which could preclude the use of solar.
Okay, can I ask if the Cashel and Warfield sites have been leased out for agricultural use in the past?
We, I believe at the Warfield site, had a year-to-year type of lease that it was probably hay production, so it was just allowed MCPS to have someone else maintain the site. We really didn't get any significant revenue from that.
And third, and probably my last question, will be, for the last 40 years or so, MCPS was putting out requests for bids on these future school sites for 2-year leases, which meant very few people other than the odd farmer would like to bid on them, because 2 years is no time. It doesn't allow you to put any investment into any kind of infrastructure, and farming made perfectly logical sense. But turning to you fellows, if MCPS was offering you a 2-year lease, renewable in 2-year increments after that, would you take the risk of putting these 3 arrays on the 3 future school sites?
I probably wouldn't enable the project economics to pencil.
So why is 10 years now a proposed term for the lease?
Up until now, we didn't have proposals for using these sites that provided significant revenue that would require a longer term. And so this is somewhat of a new area of looking at the use of these sites for something that does provide significant value to the school system and to the taxpayers of the county.
So it's purely a cost-benefit analysis and change that's come
Well,
about.
I would say that is one of the primary reasons, but a secondary reason is the public policy that encourages us to develop renewable energy where we can do that. And then personally, I went into mechanical engineering because I saw a lot of Solar X building up in Frederick, if anybody remembers that. And that was an inspiration, I think, for our students to see a field of solar collectors that can capture the imagination and inspire students to a career choice.
Are these arrays going to play into the public school system in terms of bringing schools out on field trips to explain about how the PV systems work?
That's something that we'd have to explore with our science curriculum, and I'm sure there's teachers, principals, instructors that would be interested in maximizing those opportunities.
Yeah, what's available now is each classroom that has internet connection can log in and see the real-time production of the rooftop arrays. The same would be accessible for these off-site arrays.
I think what's been pointed out in the past is that what we hope to make available with the ground array is the ability for students to actually see the panels. The rooftop arrays are not accessible to the students.
Not visible.
Yeah, we don't let them on the roof when it's not visible.
Right.
They get up there sometimes.
Yeah, they're in big trouble.
It's also worth noting that we're both local Montgomery County businesses. We've done a lot of solar projects in the area, and for other local municipal organizations, Standard Solar did a project. At this point, we weren't partnered with Sun Edison, but we built it for the town of Poolsville, and I have guest lectured at Poolsville High School to their AP Environmental Science class every year since we put the system into service personally. And we've offered that type of benefit to customers who are interested. And for me personally, it would be more easy and better to do it in Montgomery County. I've actually driven all the way out to Delaware and give guest lectures for folks. So And I also told my son if somebody else was building the Montgomery County Public Schools bid and they came to speak at the class, I might show up and ask them tough questions.
So who's the land actually being leased to?
Currently, if the proposal went forward, it would be leased to Sun Edison.
It's not leased now?
No, it's, there was agricultural use, but that was year to year that I've checked, and it's free and clear for these projects.
So negotiations on potentially keeping a portion of the driving range, we discussed with Sun Edison.
Sean, do you know if we have an agreement?
No.
The
It's
driving
something
range?
that's gonna come up,
That would have to be explored. I know.
but, I mean, there's areas with what Arginets, you know, there's some room there.
Yeah, the array on the right side is right on the driving lane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like it goes out to about 150 yards,
Yeah.
which is not a full driving range, but if there was, you know, probably obviously at our cost, they're expensive, but to put up something that would obviously protect, it would have to protect it under that being understood. But, you know, we serve Montgomery County Public Schools. We're a host to multiple schools that come out and practice. That would go away. We have a large first tee, first tee at Washington DC. We bring a lot of kids out, thousands of kids each summer. So, just something.
Well, this is really the first time I knew that we actually had a driving range on that site.
So your fact sheets say construction time early to mid 2016. Is that the commence or finish?
I couldn't hear that.
Commence.
Your fact sheet say your construction time is early to mid 2016. Is that to commence construction or to finish?
Commence.
And by when would you need a final determination from the school board and Montgomery County permitting in order to meet that schedule?
I would say March or April timeframe because of so the construction period takes 3 months of actual building, but there's the procurement of long lead equipment that takes place prior to the mobilization of the crews to the site. When you think about the end of 2016 being the timeframe for the investment tax credit step down, you would want some buffer from that. So in my mind, you're looking at early springtime notice to proceed.
And you need to complete construction and be interconnected to the grid by December 31st in order to qualify for the
That's right.
federal.
That's the way that the federal incentives are currently written.
So that's a driver for you all.
That's the driver.
Yeah.
I'm wondering then if it is a driver, how long, because the statute of education says that all these properties have to be used for educational purposes, like this golf is one as well. Prior to a vote, if you're not going to use it for educational aspects, there should be a change of use. And usually that is done before a vote, correct?
The way I would see this process working, as I've talked with our management, is that we wouldn't go through a change of use, mandatory referral type of process until we had a contract with Sun Edison. So that would have to precede, and the board would have to make their decision and authorize this before the mandatory referral.
But if you can't do a change of use, then the contract would be null and void.
I believe the way that we would structure the contract is to have a contingency, that if the permitting wasn't successful, that contract would go forward.
That's right. Prior to construction start, that would be a termination clause that would be to the benefit of MCPS. if the necessary approvals.
So MCPS wouldn't be held accountable for any, like, say, surveying or whatever costs you have prior to?
The way these contracts are structured is our only payment is for electricity kWh generated from the arrays.
Unless
So
we
it's-
cut the thing short, and then there was the, we didn't know.
If we terminated early, we do have liability for that.
When the system is operating.
Yeah, but I was just saying the same type of thing, if we said yes to a contract and, you know, we didn't get the change of use or mandatory referral, should that be needed. I just was making sure, prior to that, I assume that you will be doing, having survey costs or whatever, there will be costs that we will not be held liable. Taxpayers and CPS.
Just like Silver Spring, right?
So that's something we're.
That's why we're very careful about not entering into a contract that we do not feel that we could have reasonable confidence that we can fulfill the term. And that's why we're very careful about making sure roofs are practically good.
Just one question. The 30% decrease in the rate, is there a hard number, a real number, like kilowatt per kilowatt hour rate you're paying?
Well, I think the 30% decrease in
Electric rate, you
the
said.
electric rate. I'm getting confused between the
Sorry.
tax credits and the electric rate.
Yeah, no, that's,
Um,
is there a hard number?
So currently, we're paying about 12 cents a kWh. So we're thinking that this, we could end up being closer to 8 cents a kWh.
Where are you paying the 12 cents to?
Well, it goes to a lot of different people because of the,
But what's the, I mean, so I am trying to understand, what is the school system currently paying the Sun for these functioning rooftop arrays?
okay, so the 2008, 2009 rooftops, originally they were at around 9 cents a roof, was what it was started off at, and there's an escalation. That was much higher back in 2008 because electricity had been going up steadily, and build costs were higher. So they had all their economics and what they could offer, but for us, this was our first time out on this. So right now, I believe those contracts are around 11 cents a kWh, approaching 12 cents. So they're not saving a whole lot at this point. However, the contracts that we have for the roofs that we're now installing are 6 to 7 cents. 6 cents. And the escalation rate is 1% versus 3%.
Are these kinds of arrays eligible for SREC, solar renewable energy credits? And if they are, does MCPS get the financial benefit of that?
That's what it enables. So solar is more expensive than dirty energy. And what enables the economics of pencil for us to be sitting in this room today is the federal subsidy and then the state subsidy. The state subsidy comes in the way of SRECs. We take title to those and monetize them, which means that we sell them to a PG or a energy. That is baked into our economic model, and the sale of power, MCPS, along with the sale of SRECs, enables the repayment of the upfront investment, along with the ongoing operations and maintenance costs.
You don't have to pay property.
There was a bill passed in 2009 on the property tax side that made solar projects real property taxes. But the taxes in other states is something that impacts the project economics and will result in a higher kilowatt hour rate for the solar.
Could you explain that a little more?
If the project was burdened by ongoing property taxes, then in order to recover the investment and pay off the operating costs, the rate that we would charge Montgomery County Public Schools would need to be higher.
but you're getting this tax free. If you had to do this and buy the land someplace, you would then very uneconomic for you at this point. The reason this is so attractive is you're getting a lot of benefits from the school system. One of them is that you don't have to pay taxes or anything like that.
So we've done projects for other folks where we go out in less densely populated areas and originate and develop the projects. I would say that in that situation, the economics result in a higher kilowatt hour rate because you're making the land cost. Our goal is to try and make the cost of clean energy as cost effective as possible and understand what the concerns of the community are so that as we go out and develop best in class projects, we take these things into consideration. I will say this too, and Sean probably doesn't need this or doesn't want to say this. I work a lot in the state of Maryland, and we reference the work that we've done with Sean, and Sean is really a great torch carrier within the community for being thoughtful, being diligent. He's very highly respected throughout the state of Maryland for the work that he's done, and there's a lot of work that's going in far in advance of tonight, even in advance of the RFP of Sean staying in touch with the industry and knowing where the opportunities for benefits for the school system lie. I would say that this is just a continued extension. Some of the issues that were raised and the concerns certainly we hear you. But I do want to share my kudos to Sean because working with him relative to working with some other school systems or some other municipal entities, we should feel very fortunate that he's a top high school.
Who negotiated the 100,000 per unit with the heater?
So, and the outside council as well.
Outside council.
Council on mine as well. And our
What is that?
general council, Blair.
They don't know anything about this. This is an economic operation.
So in our RFP, in our negotiations after the selection, that's when we went through this process. Took the terms that we previously agreed to. Sean twisted my arm a little bit. I mean, it's a really fair contract.
So the rate is 8 cents per watt hour. How does that compare with mine has contract Solar City?
I believe their contract is for 20 years, and the reason that we're not able to get a low rate on this is because the 10-year amortization requires a higher rate in order for us to keep a shorter term. But as I mentioned, we are also going to structure, if this was all to go forward, a year-to-year renewal with a rate that would be much lower, like 4 cents, that basically represents the operation and maintenance cost because the amortization of the first cost has already been satisfied.
Solar City is losing money.
I'm sorry?
Solar City is losing money. Elon Musk announced that their goal for the next year is to become cash flow positive. So they're doing what Amazon did for a while. They're forcing other people out now and losing money. That's my take on the issue.
And the 8 cents is just an estimate because it's not only the contract we have with Sun Edison, there is in the aggregate energy, or the net energy metering, we still have to pay Pepco for demand charges. So I have to, I'm not exactly sure what that number is, but that is an analog to what we also would be paying Sun Edison.
And I understand that Pepco changed the rate, the meter used and the solar rate. What happens if, well, then I guess you have to be able to deal with that. So there really is, we may or may not, depending on what Pepco does, if they do what you had mentioned, like with Exelon, they may decide to gouge us.
That's considered a force majeure event in contract language, where if there's a change in the state law that
net metering construct that allows this, then MCPS would not have the obligations of the contract going forward.
Oh, okay.
It's a change of law that which is a force majeure considered.
And what did you call that, a forest?
Force, F-O-R-C-E, majeure, which is like an act of God, or it's the way the contract works.
The Pepco and, the rates that Pepco and Exelon charge are completely regulated by the Public Service Commission, so it's not something that could unilaterally change.
I just know I keep hearing their ads.
You all can show up there and ask them lots of questions too.
You like it, right?
I try to change the words.
Thank you very much.
We send you a notice and we know they're going to talk.
Is there any other questions?
I wanted to sit next to you. Thank you for being here. This has been informative.
And just for those who came in late, there are forms available in front of us. There's contact information on there for Mike and for CJ. I asked them as part of like information to me. And what they first frequently ask, first recommended resource link in that packet is the MCPS link that she was.
Oh, good, yeah, I got her.